Unit 7 ArrayList, Topic 7.2 ArrayList Methods. In our last lesson, we studied that the ArrayList class is part of the java.util package. An import statement can be used to make this class available for use in the program. Remember, an ArrayList is a class, and as such, it comes with the following 6 methods that you are expected to understand and apply. The following ArrayList methods, including what they do and when they are used, are part of the Java Quick Reference Guide. The size method will return the number of elements in a list. It has the same purpose as array.length used with arrays. Notice that the .size method is followed by parentheses, but .length is not. In order to view the result, you need to call the method within a print statement. In this example, we should see the value 4 displayed as there are 4 elements in this array list. The method add with one parameter. Let's call the method add with one parameter on the array list. What do you notice? You might notice that it will add an element object from the parameter to the end of the list. What about the add method that takes in 2 parameters? Let's call the add method that takes in 2 parameters on the array list to see what will happen. What did you notice about the added element? The first parameter defines the index or position in which the element will be placed. The second parameter is the value of the element to be added. What did you notice about the positions of the elements that came after the inserted value? Did you notice that they each increased by 1? Let's look at the get method. Let's call the get method that takes in one parameter. That parameter is the index or the position of the element I want to access. Notice that I have declared a variable to catch and store the element that I am getting. If I would like to see the value, I need to call system.out.print to display it. In this case, we would see the value 3 displayed. How about this set method? Let's call the set method that takes in 2 parameters. The first parameter represents the index, and the second parameter represents the value that replaces the element currently in that position. In this case, the value 15 will be replaced by the value 34. The set method has hidden powers. It can also return the value that is being replaced. In order to do so, we need to construct a variable that will catch and store the replaced value. When this code executes, we will see the former value 15 displayed. Let's look at the remove method. Finally, let's call the remove method that takes in one parameter. The parameter represents the index or position of the value we would like to remove. Notice what happens to the elements after position 2 when we run this code. Each element's index shifts to the left by 1. Just like the set method can be used to store the replaced element, the remove method can be used to store the removed element. You will need to declare a variable to catch and store the removed value. When this code runs, we should see the removed value 15 displayed. Let's recap. An array is not a class. An array list is a class. An array is static, immutable, and has a fixed size. An array list is dynamic, mutable, and it can expand or shrink. Array.length returns the number of elements in the array. List.size returns the number of elements in the array list. An array can store both primitive and object reference elements. An array list can only store object reference values. To create an array, you need to define the data type, followed by the array name, and the size of the array. To construct an empty array list, you need to call the ArrayList class, followed by the data type of the elements you wish to store. In order to traverse an array, the boundaries goes from the index all the way to array.length. For an array list, the boundary should go from index all the way to list.size. In My AP Classroom, under Topic 7.2 Daily Video 3, you can walk through an ArrayList FRQ question.